Rain or shine, Green Thumbs, you are watching another episode of GTNN. That's the Green Thumbs News Network. And I'm your host, Busy Bee.
And I'm Tall Rye. So grab yourself a snack and a beverage, and let's get right into today's program.
So, Tall Rye, I see you're running a little bit late today. What's the reason for that?
We're going to jump right into today's weather update with our top meteorologist. Give it to us straight, Brando.
Hey, thanks guys. Brandon here with my boots on the ground on the EZ Swap Homestead on the back end of day 4 of severe thunderstorms and torrential rain. Now you might notice that I'm wearing my life jacket, and that's because that's standard protocol here at the Green Thumbs News Network when reporting during flash flooding. Yeah, that's right folks, you heard it. Flash flooding. And you can see we've got water standing everywhere. Here's a huge pond of water with some of that water exceeding the chain link fence and going into the backyard. Now typically in spring this does get standing water, and that resides within a few days down into our pond. But as you can imagine, all the rain that we've gotten over the last 4 days, the ponds are at their top, and this water has nowhere to go, folks. It all started Sunday night with 4.5 inches of rain along with high wind gusts. Then Tuesday night we had some more rain with a tornado touching down less than 6 miles away. That brought 70-mile-an-hour winds, and then we also had high wind gusts and a little bit more rain today. Now we do have some wind damaged corn. We've got some more wind damage up in the hoop house, and we've got standing water everywhere, which just means one of two things. We're running high risk of rot in the ground, and we're running high risk of fungal diseases to pop up, especially if it stays in the 90s with high humidity. And if you look behind me here, you can see the main garden's actually right behind me. The water's creeping in, and it is just feet away from that main garden. Now we can guarantee after 4 days of rain, we're gonna have splitting tomatoes, which will bring on fruit flies and fungus gnats. Now let's take you around to the rest of the garden and show you what kind of damage this water and weather has brought. Here I am standing next to the volunteer sunflower. It was actually so close to the hoop house top, I was actually really excited. It is now laying fully over. It's actually still going to put on a head. It just won't be able to be seen from the sky. And actually right here you can see it actually looks like an uprooted tree. And just below the root mass you can see standing water. So that would also mean that all these potatoes are submerged in water and could rot off. And we made it in front of the popcorn patch. As you can probably tell from these aerial views, we've got a lot more wind damage than what we had last time. It don't take very much when the winds are 70 miles an hour. The ground is saturated and the corn is standing over 8 feet tall. Now we certainly do hope that these corn plants will still put on ears of corn, but I would also suspect that with them laying on top of each other, there could be lots of rot and fungal issues. Now all this means is that we have major crop loss. We can't do anything about it, and we'll be forced to buy all the food that we can't get from our own gardens from somebody else. And if you've been to the grocery store, we all know it's getting expensive. Back to you guys.
So now do you understand why I'm running a little behind today? Not everyone's got a lifted minivan rolling on 22s.
Oh, my bad. Well, at least you made it. That's all that really does matter. Hey, it looks like gardeners too aren't going to have to water anytime soon.
You got that right. That's a lot of water to get at one time. I wonder how that's affecting the local crops. Let's send you out to one of our reporters live on the scene.
We are here live reporting in the hoop house, talking to Ryan, the lead farmer here on the EZ Swap Homestead. Ryan, so tell me, how has the recent weather affected your harvest schedule?
Well, currently we're still harvesting beans, zucchini, and cucumbers daily, but with the recent rainfall, our potatoes are now swimming, so we need to get them dug out before they rot.
Oh wow, swimming potatoes? That's no bueno. So how many potatoes need to be saved?
Well, here in the hoop house, we got about, 120 feet of potatoes. So in a perfect world, that should be harvesting about 100 to 150 pounds of potatoes, because we started with 10 to 15 pounds of seed potatoes.
Wow, that sounds like an incredible amount of potatoes. Sounds like French fries are in your very near future. How long will those potatoes last once dug up?
Well, it all depends on the type of potato that you're trying to keep and your drying conditions or your storing conditions. But for us, we get about 2 to 3 months stored in our basement. Basically, you just want to put them on a drying rack in a dark, well-ventilated area for 7 to 14 days before you store them, which roughly you should store them about 40 to 45 degrees.
Gotcha. Is there anything else that would need to be harvested then?
Yeah, actually, right now our onions are ready to be pulled out and cured, so if you want, let's head over there now.
Sounds good, let's go. Well, we made it on over to the onion patch. Hey Ryan, can you inform the viewers on how you know when it's ready, when the onions are ready to be picked?
Absolutely. I'm not sure how good your cameraman is, but maybe they can get this. When the onions are still good, they're green, fully upright. Those are not ready yet. But these onions here, you can see they kind of died back, they're falling over. So those ones are ready to harvest.
Well, that's good information. And earlier you had spoken about curing onions. Is that with like holy water or something?
Not quite holy water, but curing onions is pretty similar to potatoes. Same thing, we want to dig these out. We want to put them on a drying rack. You just want to make sure that drying rack is well ventilated. We use like chicken wire on the bottom so you can get air from all sides. And then you just want to cure that for 2 to 4 weeks. Same thing, well ventilated, dark area.
Well, that's good information as well. We appreciate your knowledge. I'm sure the viewers at home enjoy those nuggets of information. I'll be bringing back some produce for you guys back at the studio. Over and out. Yep.
Wow, that doesn't sound too promising on those potatoes. I wonder how long they can hold their breath.
Well, let's hope a lot longer than us humans. On the plus side, those onions look darn good.
Agreed. I can't wait to try some of that produce. What's that? Just the tip. Oh, we got another garden tip coming your way right now.
Good morning, Green Thumbs. Jade here with your garden tip of the week. We're looking at our tomato plants here in the 20-gallon pots. We've got some dieback, a little yellowing of the leaves in the inner, at the bottom of the plants. Noticing that they're running out of nutrients in these 20-gallon pots we've got, so we're going to give them a little boost at the end of the season. Today we've got a KNF preparation. KNF stands for Korean Natural Farming. We've made a FFJ, a fermented fruit juice out of bananas, and we're going to mix them up a little water to water with this morning. We're going to take a 1/4 cup of our FFJ, mix it into this 5-gallon bucket of rainwater that we collected during the last downpour. Give it a little stir with our stick. And then we're going to water as normal.
And what would be the reason that you're going to use the KNF versus just top dressing some dry amendments like we would normally do?
A lot of times the dry amendments take quite a while to break down, and since we're in the we're in the end of the season, we're not really going to have the time to let those dry amendments break down before the plant really needs them, which is now.
Gotcha.
So we're going to take a pitcher full, or as much as your plant is going to need for water, and just water it right in. And hopefully this will give our plants the last little boost that they need to keep putting on these delicious fruits. This one's a yellow pear-shaped mini tomato. And they're really delicious. Back to you.
Hey, did you see those people talking online about planting seeds in August? Those people are straight nerds. Don't they know summer is almost over?
Well, that it is. But if the weather does play nice, I bet they get a harvest. Hey, we got a reporter and a gardener actually standing live to give us the latest on the planting report.
Thanks, Busy Bee and Tall Rye. I'm standing here with one of the free laborers, aka volunteer. I see you got some seeds in your hand. Do you have any open ground for that?
Well, surprisingly, we do. With the recent 8 inches of rain that we've had, we had to harvest more than usual. So right now, we've got a bunch of naked ground.
Naked ground? Are you trying to get me to sin? I can't look at that. So what's the plan of attack? You gonna try to get a harvest yet, or you got some cover crops here?
Well, actually in the main garden here, we're gonna try to get a harvest. So we're gonna put in some kohlrabi, loose leaf lettuce, carrots, and beets. But out in the greenhouse, we're gonna drop in some herbs and some shelling beans. Cross our fingers. If we get a harvest, we get a harvest. If not, it's just a cover crop.
Interesting. And how are you going to go about planting these seeds?
Well, the loose leaf lettuce, you can see I'm just sprinkling on top, and I'll take a rake and just kind of rake it in. Same thing with the cover crops and the herbs and the beans going out there. Just gonna broadcast them and sprinkle them on the ground. But with the carrots and beets, we're gonna still dig a trench and put them in there that way.
Well, this guy's starting to talk about work, so that's my cue to get out of here. See you guys back at the studio.
Well, no surprise there. Everyone these days seems to be trying to get out of work. But I am going to hope that the weather actually does hold out and that we don't have an early winter, because I would like to snack on some of them carrots.
And I wouldn't mind nibbling on some of that lettuce. So that about wraps up today's program. Thank you for watching another episode of GTNN. I'm Tall Rye.
And I'm Busy Bee.
Until next time.
Peace.
And here's a word from our sponsor.